Hello, my name is Adam, or Exiled, and welcome to the first video on this channel, and today we're talking about Skyrim 10 years later. Now, I am aware already that Skyrim is technically not 10 years old yet. It's still got a few more months to go until it is 10 years old. However, when it comes to it, I thought it would look better as a title and thumbnail. So yeah, there you go. But overall, I want to talk about Skyrim, a few different areas. Because basically I recently played through the whole game again. Really enjoyed myself, and yeah, thought about making this video, and I was like, you know what, let's think about it. Would Skyrim work if it came out today? Now for some context. The first ever time I actually played through Skyrim, I was about 9. So this was 2011. I played it in December of 2011, so literally a month after release, and I was a massive pussy, okay? I literally did nothing. I didn't even go to Bleak Falls Barrow. I was too scared to go into any of like where the Draugr are or anything like that. So I literally just didn't ever bother with it. All I did was I went to Whiterun. I eventually found Whiterun after being scared to roam around outside Riverwood. I then proceeded to live there, act and roleplay like living there. So I would go out hunting, I would cut wood to earn money, to eventually save up to hopefully buy a house. As I think I googled it at the time and it said you could buy a house for 5k, but I didn't know how to actually buy a house, so I saved up for it, and then I found out that I had to do something else, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that, I'm too scared. But yeah, basically that's kind of like the idea, and a few months later I eventually got an Xbox 360. Well, I got Skyrim again on the Xbox 360, and I basically got a little bit more willing to do things, mainly I think because I would sit in Xbox chats with my friends talking whilst I was playing the game, so it makes you feel more comfortable. But yeah, I was just a massive pussy when I was 9, okay, and I was too scared to do anything in the game. Now, as Skyrim is one of my favourite games, this is the reason why I chose to make this one of my first videos on this channel. So this video will be broken down to a few key areas. Key area 1, why is Skyrim just such a great game, to be honest? Why is it amazing? The second area is that personally, on this playthrough, I felt like it went really quickly. And I've never had it feel this quick, ever. So I'm going to discuss that as well. And then the last area of analysis will be basically around would Skyrim, if we tweaked it in certain ways, still be considered a great game if it came out today without Skyrim having ever come out before. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's jump into this. You wake up in a world that are dealing with the rebirth of dragons, Draugr, elemental demons, bandits, raiders, your country getting destroyed from within because of a civil war over who has the rights to the land, the Talos worshipping Nords, or the Imperials who might be puppets of the Thalmor. However, this place feels peaceful and beautiful, full of good people and equally as bad. Daedric lords that want you as their champion, and a thieves guild that needs a new thief. That is what makes Skyrim, the diverse and in-depth stories that you find in-game. You become in love with the lore and the world around you. Who knows what you'll find in the next cave or city? Skyrim is amazing, as you could be anyone and anything you want your character to be. You get to bathe in the world of Skyrim's excellent side quests, and it's amazing. Skyrim is a game that I believe fundamentally has two pillars. Two pillars that keep it holding up strong. Now, what would these be? You firstly got side quests. Side quests, to be honest, definitely hold up the game, as the main story is not going to do that for you. And then you also have the lore. The people who say they enjoyed Skyrim, normally when it comes to what they're talking about, they're saying that they enjoyed stuff like the Thieves Guild, the Dark Brotherhood, some of the Daedric quest lines, the DLC of the game. Now, people who loved Skyrim, to be honest, will then say, I loved all that, but I also love the lore, I love the world building, I love everything about the game and all of its interesting details. The idea of imagining how the world of Elder Scrolls continues after Skyrim, but also wanting to learn where it leads to after the game was finished. When you're playing through Skyrim, you learn to forget about the clunky combat mechanics. You also forget about the awful magic system, even if you're playing as a mage. And what you learn instead is what true immersion actually is, and how to make a game that has got true and concise emotion that allows you to actually get involved and be immersed. The amount of world building that you find from Skyrim is absolutely impeccable. You'll never find anything anywhere near the remark that you can find in Skyrim. You can learn just from playing the game about the history of Tamriel and the races that came before the ones you have today. You learn just from playing things like the Dawnguard DLC about the Snow Elves and how they eventually became the Thalmor. And when you're playing, you get to sit and wondering, what happened to the Dwemer? Where were they? What happened? What made them go extinct? Bethesda made a world that you truly love to be in and you want to stay in for much longer than you get in Skyrim. During my most recent playthrough of Skyrim, I found myself just kind of wondering, why does this game feel so quick to complete? It never has in the past. So what I've come to the conclusion of is two different things. One is I think it's the case that I just was really slow at playing through the game when I was younger, most likely. And then when it comes to the second point, I think that because I know what I'm doing and I've played Skyrim so many times in the past, I know every questline pretty much. If you told me a little bit about the questline you're doing, I could probably tell you the ending to it. And because of that, I literally just know what I'm doing, and I think that's what made the experience feel so quick. I'd say that's a positive and a negative. It means that I know a fair bit about Skyrim and I've enjoyed playing through the game. However, I do also think that's probably what's led to me probably not going to be playing the game for at least another few years anyway. However, this is a point that leads me to think about Skyrim compared to its contenders today and the standards of today's world. Would Skyrim get the same approval if it came out today? Now let's assume, for example, that the combat system is improved a lot. Let's say it's similar to The Witcher's combat system, so it's a very big step up from Skyrim 100%. And then it's also got updated graphics. Let's assume those two things. I think the game would be looked at and ripped apart the same way as Fallout 4 did. I believe that even though the world of Skyrim is truly amazing, Skyrim has a one last pillar that I failed to mention. This pillar is nostalgia. Nostalgia is a great experience that you have when playing through games. We all experience it when we're either watching something or we do something that we used to do from our childhood. Skyrim for me was one of those games that, like I said, I played it when I was 9. It was part of my childhood. And because of that, literally, I will always love Skyrim. However, the issue of nostalgia and what it brings a blindness to true art. And it's why if someone turned up to me and said, you know what? Skyrim is better than The Witcher 3. I would have to say, even though I enjoy playing through Skyrim more than I do playing through The Witcher 3, I'd say Witcher 3 is unequivocally the best action RPG to ever exist, and there isn't anything that's got close to rivaling it yet. I'm not someone who hates games that just use nostalgia to sell, but if Skyrim was released with better graphics and a better combat system, but also they had never been released in the past, I do strongly think that it would be a game that people would look at similar to the likes of Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Valhalla. An okay game, but not one of greatness. The one of greatness is the one that we have today. The one with the 3 pillars, the side quests, the lore, and the nostalgia. It's what's allowed Bethesda really to get away with not releasing another Elder Scrolls game. They could have released one on the old engine, however they've seen from previous backlash that they can't really get away with that, and they know they at least have a game that will 100% sell enough and will get pre-orders, even in a world where we live of the idea of pre-orders are dead. But these 3 pillars combined with an overhyped media flame stoked below it could lead to honestly the biggest downfall in gaming history. So Skyrim is one of amazingness. It is a great game that will live highly in my heart forever, as either one of my favourite games of all time or extremely close second. However, I do think that because of the 3 pillars that hold Skyrim, side quests, lore and nostalgia, mixed with a little bit of media and social pressure, Elder Scrolls 6 being an amazing game will end with the downfall of one of the best universes in gaming. You have Cyberpunk, which is a great proof of concept here. It is a game that had the media and the populace light a flame so highly underneath it that all they had to do was literally nothing and the game was going to be a train wreck from the start. I'm someone who isn't I hated Cyberpunk because of its failure. I was someone who before the game even released, I literally didn't care about it. I couldn't have cared. I hadn't seen really anything on it, I didn't get why people were getting so hyped, and I looked at it as nothing can live up to this hype. When a game gets so hyped up to the point like this, it is doomed to failure, and that is what I fear with Elder Scrolls 6. Anyways, that is Skyrim 10 years later. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video in particular, make sure to leave a like, and then if you want to continue the discussion about either Skyrim itself or any other game franchise in the comments, let me know and we can have a discussion. Anyway, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content on this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.